Hello everyone, this is Jilly. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. I have just been over to Jennifer Ball's Spiritual Garage watching some videos, and if you have not been over to the garage, you really need to check her out. I will put her, I'll put a link to her channel in the down box, in the, whatever that thing is called, the description thing. All right. So she just did her very first tarot tag, and so I want to hop on that bus and help her out and support her. And it's a great tag because it talks about how we all store our decks, and I think it's hashtag tarot deck storage. So I have copy and pasted the questions up here on a sticky note on my desktop, and I will do my best to try to read them without leaning in real far. We'll see how that goes. All right, so question number 1. Where do you store your decks, and show if you can. Let's move this over a little bit. Okay. Show us if you can. If you haven't in a previous video. Okay, sorry. So I have not shown in a previous video, and I didn't know if I could or not, so I tried before I started this video. Sadly, my webcam does not reach that far. So about 6 feet to my left, I have a 1, 2, 3, 5 shelf tall bookcase. It's taller than I am, so 6 foot, 7 foot bookcase maybe. The first 2 shelves are dedicated to where I store my tarot and oracle decks. It is getting quite crowded up there, so they're kind of like piled up on top, and in front the shelf is wide enough where I can have, so I need to come up with something else real soon here, but for now it's working. It's okay. Okay. Do you keep the boxes? The short answer to that question is yes, I do. The longer answer to that question is the very first box that my very first tarot box came in, my very first tarot deck came in was the Plaidback Rider-Waite-Smith box, and that box bought the farm a long, long time ago. I'm not a big fan on tuck boxes, and I must have really been tough on that little thing because it fell apart, oh my gosh, like years and years ago. And I knitted a tarot case for it, and I kept it in that for a long, long time. I also kept that deck in a scarf that was my mother's. I would wrap the deck up in the scarf, and now it sits, I think this is it. We'll see. It might not be. I might have it downstairs. This is it. Oh, it is. Okay. So this kind of brings us to the next question. How do I pair decks with a bag? But I'm not ready yet. I want to go back to the second question about do I keep boxes? I do keep the boxes now. Most of the decks that I have bought have been sets, so they have come in, a very nice box. Should I come across a box, should I ever decide to take a deck out of a tuck box and place it in something else, to keep that tuck box, I would fold it flat. And somebody out there in tarot world told me that this is her practice, and I was totally amazed by the whole thing. She takes all of her decks out of the tuck boxes, and then she files the tuck boxes in a filing cabinet, you know, alphabetically by the deck name, which I find, God, like, so organizational. And I'm really amazed that people actually do that, because I do not. I keep them all in the original box, except for my Rider-Waite Smith decks and any decks that I'm currently working with, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, done with that question. Number 3. How do you pair your deck with a bag? And what material do you prefer? Okay, so I prefer cotton, and for a long time I knit bags, because I'm a knitter, and so this is one of the very early bags that I knit, and my Anna Kay lives in this, and I'll tell you why in a second. But I also travel with decks, so I have a once a month gig that I do where I generally bring a tarot deck with me. For instance, tomorrow I'm traveling. I will definitely bring a tarot deck with me then. And so I wanted something that was kind of, I don't know, sturdy, and something that would keep the deck clean. So I found, and if you've seen any of my other tarot videos, you've probably seen these before. I found these really neat. I'm going to back up here so you can get the whole full effect. I found these really neat tarot spread cloths on Etsy. And so the premise is that you wrap the deck up in this, and then there is a large pouch of coordinating material, and you place the deck in the pouch, and then it folds over so that it's really snug and safe. And then when you get to where you're going, you've got a spread cloth that you can use, and I really like it, and I have bought 3 of these. I only have 2 of them upstairs. How I put decks into boxes or bags, how do I pick them? I would have to say it's intuitive. I feel it. It just happens, and I feel it. So this is the pouch where my plaid backs live, and this, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Let's see. I just think this deck looks great against this background. So whoops. You see that? I just think it looks really neat. So yeah. So that's how I do that. I also have, I'm not going to do that all. All right. I also have this one. Okay, so this is a green, it's a greenish batik back, and it has that same purple on the other side. And that is where my Waite Smith borderless lives. And I don't know, I just thought that looked good together. And again, I think the cards show up really well on the purple background. So that was that. Quick, just lay that aside. I showed you my Anna Kay. Now, Anna Kay lives in here because I'm not crazy about the Anna Kay box. and it is a deck that I used a lot. So I wanted something to keep her in, and this little knitted bag that I made is just, I don't know, it's sort of whimsy and it's just really comfy, and that's kind of how the Anna Kay deck is to me. So I don't know, it kind of goes, that's what I think. And then I have my soul deck, the Druidcraft, and the Druidcraft lives on my table in one of these wooden boxes. I got this at a local shop. Although I will say that Mr. Honey is making tarot boxes and they will be for sale. He does that wood thing with that, there's a solution and there's like electronics involved, and it like burns these really cool patterns into the wood. And so he's quitting smoking, so it's his new thing. And he's made lamps, and I asked him if he would make some tarot boxes. So he's going to do that, and as soon as we have a prototype of one, I will let you know. All right, so that's that question. Where am I? I did 3. 4. What decides if you put a deck in its original box or a bag? Okay. How much the deck gets used? The only caveat I have to that is my Gaian Tarot. I really love the Gaian Tarot box. It's the one, it's got the magnetic closure. I know you guys have all seen it. I really do like that box. So, for instance, right now, I'm using that deck a lot for daily draws, and I've used it for a couple of client readings now, and just for like my own stuff. And so it's sitting on my working table with a crystal on top of it. And I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to put that in a bag or not. But generally speaking, it's if I use the deck, if it's a deck that's close to my heart, like my Plaidback Rider-Waite Smith is just a deck that's really, really close to my heart. So, you know, that deserved a special place. All right. And this is my favorite question. If you could have anything in this world, what would be your ultimate storage area? You guys are going to laugh, but it's okay. You can laugh. I honestly, like, I got this idea from the woman that I took tarot lessons from. She lives in, or I studied tarot with. I didn't monthly were lessons, but I studied with her. She is a psychologist, and she lives in Washington State, and she has what she calls a tarot temple. And her tarot temple is a yurt. And so if I could have anything, anywhere to store my tarot decks, I would love to have a tarot temple, and I would love for it to be a yurt. And in my mind, my yurt would be blue on the outside, and the top of the yurt would have a, the dome would be able to open, and I would have a few ceiling fans hanging down and an old wood stove to keep it warm in the winter. I would have it placed on concrete, and I would finish the concrete floors and lay oriental carpets on them and have my furnishings be very boho Goodwill chic. That's what I would do. Now, as far as deck storage goes, I thought that it would be really cool. Wouldn't this be cool? It would be I think it would be really neat to have all of my decks in wooden boxes, kind of, you know, like this, or the boxes that Mr. Honey's going to make, except like no design on the front, because what I would want to do if I were an artist is paint a representation of the deck on the top, and, you know, finish it, and then have the name of the deck on the side and have them all on shelves. So thank you, Jennifer Ball and your Spiritual Garage, for making me smile today and think about how glorious it would be to have a tarot temple yurt. And I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Please go visit Jennifer. She's wonderful. And until next time, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.